I'm always scared for comic reliefs that they're not gonna be funny. But the two people that helped the
In the
person who could
first
talk in the second one,
Oh,
yeah. Well, they were in the first one too. But the two people that helped the Ghost Whisperer, that old lady, in the second one too, they were just hilarious for me.
The old lady?
Yeah, the one that sees the ghost, I guess.
That was the first one.
Was?
Yeah.
Okay, but I swear they were in the
Because
second one. They're like talking about Hot Pockets in the second one or something. I know they were in the second one too, I thought. But I don't know.
Maybe, but the old lady wasn't there.
Yeah, it's true.
So I think that was the end of the first one.
Okay. Something happened where I swear they were in the second one and they were just talking about like Hot Pockets and they were just hilarious. I don't know. But Comic Relief did a solid for me.
Which I can really take you out of a movie when it's bad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You hear the Comic Relief come in, they're just cracking jokes that are just horrible.
And flat.
And it's just, then you cringe. You just cringe at it. You're just like, you see him walk in, you're like, oh no, here comes some terrible jokes. But no, in Insidious, that was pretty solid Comic Relief there.
It was. I really liked it.
Mm-hmm.
And James Wan, who directed the first two Insidious movies, he also directed The Conjuring, which is a fantastic horror movie. Mm-hmm. That might be one of the most well-made horror movies in a while. I mean, it doesn't reinvent the wheel. It's definitely a very classic scary movie. Like, that's definitely like the traditional template for a scary movie.
Yeah.
And he does it perfectly, I think.
Yeah, very good.
Really well directed, very good acting, and really scary. Like, there's really, disturbing parts, and it's scary, and it's it's not as fun as Insidious, but you're definitely along for the ride, and it's really good.
Yeah, it was very good.
I think that's maybe one of the best horror movies that's come out, pound for pound in the last few years, for sure. And, alright, so those are some of the ones we really like. There's a lot of different genres in horror. Horror comedy is fantastic, which you never think would work, but there's a couple really good ones. A couple that stick out to me, the two big ones in my eyes are like Tucker and Dale vs. Evil.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
Really good. Yeah.
And then Cabin in the Woods. It's so good.
That was awesome.
And I think Cabin in the Woods is probably the best one,
Oh yeah, that one's up there.
And then I think Tucker and Dale comes second. The reason I put Cabin in the Woods first is because that is hilarious, so much fun, and actually scary. Yeah. It's actually scary in parts, It's not just like, oh, this is, it's not just like making fun of horror movies, because it is, but yet it's actually still scary, too.
It's very unique.
It is.
The way that they do it.
Fantastic.
Like if you were to think what Cabin in the Woods is about without seeing it, you would not guess the plot line. Yeah. You could throw out 100 guesses and then watch it, and you weren't even close. It's such a...
And that was one of the best theater-going experiences I've had with Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah.
Because I went to it on a Sunday night, I remember, and I had seen some of the trailers for it, and the trailers weren't good for it. I mean, it just looked like a really cliched, dumb horror movie. And so I wasn't really excited to see it, but I really wanted to go see a movie that night. And I kind of I clicked on it, and it showed the IMDb score, and it was 8 out of 10. And I was like, wow, that must be really good. Yeah. So I was like, well, I'm going to go check it out, because I thought, well, it must just be a really well-made horror movie.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about it. And I literally knew nothing about it. All I remembered was the eagle hitting, like, the thing, and I was like, well, I guess I'll go see it. And it starts out with this really fun and light banter between these two scientists or whatever, and they're riding a golf cart. And I'm just kind of like, this is funny. And then, bang, Cabin in the Woods, and I'm like, And then it kind of gets going, and I'm like, wow, this is awesome. Because I did not expect that at all.
No, yeah.
And the parts where it was scary, they were pretty freaking scary. They were really scary. And the person who was funny was hilarious.
Yeah, it was
just so much fun.
It was a great movie.
That is amazing. That's just so much fun. It's really a great time, and that's one of the only horror comedies that really like the horror factor is really there, and the comedy is really there, and it just melds perfectly. That it's just fantastic.
Yeah,
definitely. That's probably the best one of the comedy horror. Dale and Tucker vs. Evil is great.
Yep.
But it's more of a comedy.
It is more of a comedy. Yep.
The scary part is like there's scary parts for the group of teenagers.
Yeah, it's definitely funny scary parts.
Right.
It doesn't actually like creep you out.
Like with the bees is my favorite.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. My god.
Yeah, it's definitely a great comedy.
Yeah.
To watch. I guess it's a little scary for the kids running around, but yeah, that one's a good one to watch. But definitely, Cabin in the Woods
is the best one.
Need to watch that one. That one is amazing.
I'm kind of blanking on. I don't know if there's a lot. Not a lot of others really come to mind.
Yeah.
One I just watched recently was What We Do in the Shadows, which I've told you about. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
One of my favorite movies I've seen this year, probably top 3. But it is more of a comedy, but it's with vampires and werewolves, and so good. But it is more of a comedy, And so people say horror comedy because it's kind of like a horror setup, but it's not really that scary.
It's supposed to be silly, yeah.
Right. So Cabin in the Woods is one of the only ones that really balances that really well. But when you can do it well, it's awesome. And another one, there's a lot of, you can do horror a lot of different ways. One of the things I love about horror is a really bad horror movie, because they're so much fun to watch. And you and I, you bought the 25 horror movies in one because we knew it was gonna be horrible. Every one of those is gonna suck.
$5 for 25 movies,
And we've watched a bunch of them, and they're terrible, but amazing.
Yeah,
they're so much fun to watch.
And you know what I was thinking? The really good horror comedy in that one was that Grave Mistakes. I loved that movie. It was so funny.
Oh, God.
The zombie one?
Oh, so bad.
It was horrible, yeah.
I didn't even think it was funny, because it tried to be funny, and it wasn't.
Oh, man, it was awful. Like, it looked like someone's high school project,
It wasn't even HD.
No, yeah.
I don't even know if it was 480.
Yeah.
So bad.
Like, yeah, it seemed like someone had to make a video project for high school, and that's what they made. But I don't know, maybe I connected to it because I liked making stuff back in high school, and editing it together was so much fun. And I don't know, just some of the characters that they had. That one guy that was supposed to talk like an idiot, and he was
like
horrible.
Eating cereal.
Oh, he was so bad.
And
like
it was like almost they were like almost making fun of autistic people.
I know, yeah, that was the bad part about it. But I don't know. Like,
and he was like, like he wrote this book about how to survive zombies. Everyone's like, he's crazy.
Yeah.
But he works at autoplace. And then I'll let you tell if you want. Spoiler? Would that be a spoiler? We talked about it?
No, I don't think anyone's gonna watch it. So
it's worth checking it out, but he gets killed right away.
Yeah.
Because he's like, it zooms in on him, and he's like, this is what I've been waiting for. He wrote this book, and then he gets killed.
Yeah.
And
it was
so bad.
Yeah, it is bad. But it's definitely not something that's so bad it's good, but it was so bad that I appreciated it. I don't know. It's kind of weird to say, but no, I liked it.
Yeah, it's like watching a train wreck. You just can't.
And then you can't look away. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so much fun. A lot of them, some of them because when they take themselves too seriously, that's when it's horrible.
That's when
watch.
that's when it's just
because you're they're trying to pretty much say they're really good, but they're not.
Yeah.
At least some of them kind of. They try to have some fun with it, and then it's fun because it's so bad.
Yeah.
But the one we watched, what was it called? The Dust Devil or Dirt Devil vacuum movie. It's like a ghost that was a sand ghost, and just
It was
about as dry as the freaking sand.
Yeah,
it was all around. Just so hard to watch because
terrible.
Nothing happened, and they were all stone-faced, super serious. Things.
Yep.
It's just a great movie.
Yeah.
It's just
when people try to really make a scary movie and keep it serious, even though it's bad, like it's just unwatchable. But if they have fun with a crappy movie like Grave Mistakes.
Yeah, it was
like
so much fun.
it was a lot. It was tolerable. Definitely, you can watch it, because if they're not acting goofy in it, then it's just like, oh my gosh.
The one we watched about the asylum or whatever, that wasn't
Room
bad.
33?
Yeah, Room 33, which that room had nothing to do with it.
Nah,
and that stupid little girl had nothing to do with it. But,
some of those characters still had fun.
It was a pretty good, it was fun because it was pretty well made, way better made than Grave Mistakes. And they're in this van and they're like, where are we? Why don't you take? Oh, it's a shortcut. And then they run out of gas.
Yeah.
And then they're like, we're gonna go to
the worst place ever.
They're like, oh, we'll just walk to this abandoned asylum.
That makes sense.
And there's a Russian girl who just is a rollerblader. So when they get there, she takes out her roller skates and just goes away. I'm gonna go skate. And I'm like, what? And they go to this abandoned asylum. And they have to stay there, and it's just so bad. And it wasn't it was really fun and not bad for the first half.
Yeah.
And then it just kept getting worse.
Yeah, you could watch it, and it was fine, but
then it just
and it has the classic little girl in a corner, talking. Oh, she's talking. Let's go up on her, and then turns around and it's just a horrible CGI demon face. It's just and that's your jump scare, but that one's coming, and it's so bad that even though they throw in that burn, it's just like, are you kidding me? It's just the demon face pops out.
It's so bad. And
But
they're the best ones because you have fun because you're making fun of it the entire time.
Oh yeah.
That's why it's so much fun.
That's the goal of it. Yep.
And it's just great. It's just so much fun. You make fun of it.
Mm-hmm.
But the king of bad horror movies is Troll 2.
Yeah, but
one of my favorite movies of all time.
That was awesome.
And it's just so awesome. Because it's when you watch it, you're just this is by people who know how to make movies.
Yeah.
And the acting is terrible.
Yeah.
So over the top. And the story makes no sense.
Mm-hmm.
And it just an unbelievably great time you will have with that movie.
Yeah.
I mean,
no doubt.
It is the best. There's a documentary about it called Best Worst Movie, and then it's a great documentary.
Yep.
If you watch it, watch both together. That's what I do when I show people. And it's just amazing. Seriously, you will not have a great time when you watch it.
It's worth a buy. You can go buy
it.
Yeah, and you'll love it.
Because the best part about it is showing your friends who haven't seen it.
Yeah.
You get a group together and you show them, and everyone loves it. It's just so top to bottom hilarious.
Oh yeah. It's
so
great.
much fun. The trolls in Troll 2 are called goblins.
Yeah.
They never say the word troll. It has nothing to do with the first troll.
Yep.
It's just called Troll 2 because they got the rights and so much amazing things. I don't even want to ruin it. I just want you to go watch it. And then the documentary is fantastic with it too. Mm-hmm. It's a really good movie night. So much fun.
It's gold.
It is.
Without
it's
a doubt,
absolutely
it's gold.
the best.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, so to kind of recap here, we kind of, we talked about horror movies we really like, what we like to look for in horror movies, horror comedies, and then, bad horror movies that we still really like. Horror it's a fun genre. Mm-hmm. It's really, I think it's the best to have a movie night with.
Yeah.
And I've had a couple really good movie night because you can watch a comedy as a movie night. That's the other one to go to because you don't super have to pay attention.
No.
As long as it's funny, it works.
Yeah.
And same with like a horror movie, you don't have to super pay attention, but as long as it's scary, it works.
Mm-hmm.
And like when you're all sitting there watching it, it's awesome. The best.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention there's an Australian horror movie that came out this last year called The Babadook.
Oh, okay.
And it is so good. I absolutely adore that horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We had a scary movie night here once. It was me and a couple buddies. Not you.
Yep, not me.
Because I hate you. That was before we painted our house, so it still looked really, really scary. And it was raining like crazy. It's an old house, and it's really, really creepy at night. And it's raining like crazy. The wind's blowing, and we watched a couple horror movies, and The Babadook was one of them. And I wasn't sure how these other guys would respond to it because it's kind of a smarter horror movie.
Oh, okay.
A little bit, like it's more mature, I guess. Mm-hmm. It's not like doesn't really go into the whole like jump scares or like silly stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's just straight up an amazing film, and they all really liked it, and they were all really scared. And I'm like, yes, I'm so happy. And that's the best when you can have a group of people together and just watch scary movies and be scared together.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think that's the best night. So if you take anything away from this video, it's that horror movies are awesome. They're fun to watch. And if you don't like horror movies, you know, if you've given them a shot, maybe not, I'd say stay away from the super scary ones right away.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You know, until you're ready. Go into the entry-level ones like Paranormal Activity, Insidious.
Yep.
Sinister would be a good one to start with, too.
After Paranormal Activity, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely got to work your way up, because that one is kind of creepy.
There's some disturbing stuff.
Yeah. So if you're not ready for that.
The Woman in Black you could start with, too.
Mm-hmm.
But you gotta, like, get some that'll be scary enough to get a taste in your mouth.
Oh, yeah. And
then kind of work your way up, because if you just watch a really, really, really scary movie right away, it could totally turn you off horror movies forever.
Mm-hmm.
But you kind of got to work your way up, and if you like, you know, if you watch like Paranormal Activity or Insidious, and you don't like it at all, you know, then I guess it's not your genre, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But if you get into it and you're like, wow, that was really scary, but like fun and thrilling, you know, then you'll want to get more.
Yep.
And you'll want to. It's like crack, you know.
Yeah.
Just do crack, and it's exactly like that.
Yeah.
Go find someone who's a crackhead, try it, and then watch scary movies.
Yep.
It's the best way.
It is.
It's the scariest. You'll ruin your life while you're watching.
Yeah. You can do crack while you're watching scary movies. And it's just a fun time.
There you go. You heard it here. Go do crack.
Yep.
Wow, that was fun.
I like it.
Yeah, so, you know, like I said, they make the best movie nights. Definitely give it a shot. Fall's coming up. Halloween is my favorite, you know, holiday of the year. Do you have any Halloween traditions? I trick-or-treated all the way to my senior year of high school because I loved it. And I just love dressing up. Every year, I always watch The Wolfman. That's my one from 1941, black and white.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely adore that movie.
Yeah.
I watch it every year, and it's great, I think. Like, I absolutely cannot get enough of it. I mean, it's funny because my first introduction to it was The Sandlot.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen that movie?
I haven't,
big dog.
but I know.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Great movie. But there's a scene where, especially for kids, great coming-of-age movie, really fun. But they're chasing the dog, and he runs through this movie theater, and they're showing the Wolfman. And it's just one little scene, and he like breaks through the screen, you know. And when I just saw that little clip, I was like, "Ooh, that looks really scary," you know. And the kid was like, "That looks really good." And then I saw like Alvin and the Chipmunks meet the Wolfman.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I was like, oh, because their neighbor's like a werewolf or whatever, Wolfman. And I loved it. And then, you know, I don't remember when it was exactly, but I had kind of gotten into movies more, and I was like, I'm going to watch The Wolfman because I've never actually seen it. And I just loved it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It is so good. Definitely my cup of tea, for sure.
Yeah.
And I watch it every year because, like, it's surprising, like, how smart it is, too. Like, the whole time he's thinking he's this werewolf or whatever, and his father keeps telling him, he's like, no, it's all in your head. Like, you have no idea how, like, powerful the human brain is. It can make you think, make a man do many things, you know? I'm like, wow, like, it's super good logic. And he's like, you could have lycanthropy or whatever, which is like a mental disorder where you think you'll turn into that.
Okay.
You know, and that's what his dad keeps telling him it is, and it's like, that's so smart and good. And like, the only parts that is dated is this one part where he is trying to woo this girl, and it's a little weird because he like has this telescope because his dad is into astrology or whatever, and he like sees this girl through a window, and she's like a shopkeep or something. She has like this shop, and he creeps on her, and he goes over there and he's like, oh, I have the earrings with like a half moon or whatever. She's like, oh, we don't have any of those. She's like, yeah, I saw you wearing them early in your room, and I'm like, it was pretty creepy. And I was like, all right, bud. Like, I mean, that's the 40s, Yeah. It probably wasn't creepy at the time as much, but that's literally the only part that's dated about it. But honestly, like, the effects still hold up. They're not that bad, and the scenery is great.
Awesome.
I love it. Every time I watch it, I'm like, wow, I really get into it. It's awesome. So I watch that every year. It really gets me into the spirit. Otherwise, other ones that I watch is like the Halloween Town movies, because I grew up with those. Like Hocus Pocus.
Yeah.
Really get that Halloween vibe.
I always get The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, that's like, a good one.
Yeah, that was like always our thing. Watch it usually every year. But because that's just something that I've grown up with.
Right.
Year, so
that's a fun one too.
Yep.
Yeah, so Halloween's coming up. I'm gonna have a big Halloween party. I'm planning on it. Costume party, finally.
Awesome.
And I'm gonna dress up as a werewolf with.
Nice.
I have this coat that has like wool on the inside. I'm gonna flip it up inside out, so I'll be a wolf in sheep's clothing. And I hope people get that.
Oh man.
But well, thanks again for being on, Tyler.
Yeah.
How about you tell the people where they can find you on Twitter, unless you don't want to be found.
Well, I guess my account is Burdette Dog. You can also find me on YouTube too, if you're interested in video games.
Yeah, what kind of videos do you do on YouTube?
I just upload video game commentaries, talk over them while I'm playing. Just started that up kind of recently too, so you can find me on there. Otherwise, Twitter. My Twitter's kind of boring though, so.
Burdette Dog.
Yeah, Burdette Dog.
How do you spell Burdette?
Burdette, and then just DOG.
Burdette.
And that's where you can find me.
He has good tweets. He's a good tweeter.
Yeah.
Again, you can find me at Luke Larson 89. I definitely recommend have a movie night this Halloween with horror movies. Invite friends over. Get into it. It's really fun.
Sure.
Thanks again for coming on.
No problem. My
Thanks
pleasure.
for watching, guys.
See you guys.